Hello and welcome to Free Sample of the Week. This week we are looking at 6 different free Kontakt Player instruments, all available within the Kontakt Player 6 or later. I'm going to be using Kontakt Player 7, but you can, as I said, use Kontakt Player 6. Now, very easy to actually download. You have to sign up to this company's mailing list, and then they actually give you all the activation codes on the screen like here. They don't send you a million different emails, which is really nice. But what are we actually getting? Well, we're getting a piano, the free version of the Hammersmith. It's 4.8 gigabytes. You're getting a lot. Basically, you're just not getting the close or room mic, you're just getting the mid. But it's really nice, and as you'll see, there's a lot going for this piano. Then we have this Rockichord thingy-to-bob organy thing. It's pretty good, not my favorite, but it's there, it's free. Then we've got a thunder drum, which is really fun, a music box, which is my second favorite out of the lot, then a tape choir, which isn't my cup of tea, but it might be yours. So let's dive straight in, jump into the Kontakt Player and start tinkering around. So Hammersmith free. As I said, you're not getting this close or room. It is redded out because you are going to have to pay, I think it's like £170 for the full version to get those microphones. But we do have this mechanic bit over here, which is really nice. You get to that by pressing the settings button. This is how it just looks out of the box. Very nice, very clean. But by clicking on this, we get this extra little bit with expression, all these different mechanic things. You're getting, apparently, I think it says 21 velocity layers with this, which is really cool. And I think the only downside to the free edition is just the lack of mic positions. But we also have this key off, pedal, dampeners, noise. There is naturally a reverb on it as well, which you have to go into the effects to completely turn off. It's mixed there, but yeah, I don't like it at all. Well, I say I don't like it at all. It negates these lovely little noisy sounds that we're getting in our settings. So without further ado, let's tinker around with this piano out of the box, I should say. So we are going to have to add that back in, and then we'll do my usual, make it how I like it. So a very beautiful, very generic piano. And the velocity sensitivity is exactly how I like it. You can hear those different layers. There are round robins there as well, but you can hear that reverb there, which I personally don't like. So we're going to completely turn that off. I'm going to turn this up ever so slightly, make it a little bit hotter. And then I'm going to go into our settings. I really like the key off, so I'm going to max that right up and just add a little bit of noise to, I say a little bit, maxing it out again. Pedal, dampener, and then soft. I'm just going to, yeah, 100%, why not? And this just brings it out a little bit more, makes it sound a bit more natural and realistic, personally, to me. So you can hear the keys now, and you could hear, we hear that now, and you can definitely see it, the pedal sound, just bringing a bit more mechanics, a bit more noise to the mix. And I really like that in a piano personally. Just adds a little bit more detail, a bit more grit and realism to your piano. So really nice overall, absolutely love this. And as free pianos go, I highly recommend it. I feel it can be used in multiple situations, but we're going to leave this one there because we have plenty more to go through. So let's move on to the music box. Now, out of the box, this is an interesting and different sounding music box. If you want the raw sound, I'll show you how to do that in a second, but let's just play it out of the box first. It's kind of not what you would expect. As I said, you kind of have this weird music-y, shimmery, celeste sort of music box sound. It's not the raw, but actually looking at the settings and what we've got going on here, there's actually two different music boxes being played. So first we're going to take that second one off. It's also stretched, which gives it this almost elongated sort of sound. So if we take that completely off, and then we can hear there's a bit of reverb, strip that back, there's your music box. Which is really nice, and you have that full keyboard at your disposal to play this, which again is really nice. And you do have that lovely range, and it does sound actually quite nice. Yeah, it's pushing it a bit on either end, but you're going to get that no matter what with whatever music box you're messing with. The stretch gives it that almost ethereal sort of sound. Second music box does give you a different sound, but it sounds almost, I think, an octave lower. Let's just mix two of them together. That's actually a really nice effect and slightly different, and I've not quite found a music box like this before. So as free music boxes go, this is something a little bit different that I have not come across yet, which is getting rarer and rarer these days. I have done, I don't want to know how many videos on free samples, but if you've not found me before, check out the channel. There is so many gems that I have found over the years, so have a look and see if there's anything you like. Mostly free stuff I look at. Anyway, stop advertising myself. What have else we got? There's cutoff, there's high pass frequencies. You can change the reverb as well. Pearly gates, that sounds interesting. So easy to make lots of interesting and unique sounds with this library. But let's move on to my third favorite, and that is the Thunder drum. So this is a fun and unique sound, lots going for it as well. Percussive, as you can probably guess, it is a drum. And definitely some very interesting effects. And looping as well. But one that you really do have to kind of play with. But I think the button that's going to help you out the most is probably this bottom one here. Kind of spreads everything out a little instead of kind of the edit all, where it, or shuffle I should say, where it kind of divides it all around. This one, at least you can say some sounds down here, kind of your tappy sounds there, and then this weird groany one in the middle. But we do have another window, this box up here, where you can mess with pitch, pan, start time of the sample, and width. But But yeah, very interesting thundery effect. Cutoff frequency as well you can mess with there. There's an envelope LFO. There is an effects panel as well. There's lots to mess with, lots to play with there, but overall there are some quite interesting and fun bits and bobs that you can do with this instrument. But as I said, you probably just want to go with the bottom bit here just to spread it all out a little bit, because you've got more of your taps up here, while middle bit you've got more of that rolling thunder, and the bottom more of that twingy bit, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's move on. We've got another one to go through. That's the Rockichord. So the Rockichord is an organy-esque, electric-y, piano-y sort of vibey thingy to bobby, which out of the box is that, but you can get a bit more fine-tuned with the sound. Basically all these little bits and bobs, you can just click them and have what sort of sounds you want, go through them, see what you think of each one. Don't forget, over here is kind of the volumey bit. Right now it's empty because I've got nothing selected. If I select one and then move over there, you can mess with the gain, and I think that's velocity sensitivity, and you can do that for every single patch here. And you will see some of them aren't actually on, so it is worth diving into that section so you can adjust the volumes and different bits and create some actually rather unique sounds. Again, that's another one that's not actually turned on. Very 80s vibes I'm getting there, but again we have a filter. Nice bit of, what is that, flange or wow? No, actually I think it's phaser. Let's just turn everything on and see what happens. It does actually make a rather interesting sound. I have tried this before I've recorded, but again we do have to turn some of the sounds up. Sound, definitely one to spend a little bit of time on and mess with the different sounds that you've got going on here to create quite an ethereal, electric and 80s vibe, but one I definitely recommend spending a little bit of time with. It's not really, you can just play it out of the box, but if you want a better sound, worth playing with. Anyway, last and definitely I think least actually is the tape choir. Not my favorite, not my cup of tea, but it might be yours. So let's play this out of the box, look at some of the settings and end the video. The tape choir. Yes, there is another type of EQ, or no EQ at all. And you can make it warmer. I have tried making this one sound good and messing around before I recorded this video, but there's nothing I could come up with that made it sound any better really than the initial default. I guess you could add some cutoff to give it a bit more of a roll off and this almost echoey, cavern-y sort of sound. You do have an envelope there with more settings if you look further into it, and there is a dark hall reverb which sounds awful if you take it off. But if that's the sound you're going for, there you go. There's plenty of little bits and bobs to mess with that as well. But overall, quite a nice collection of sounds we're getting from this company. Absolutely love the piano. The Thunder Drum is fun to mess with, and the music box is unique and different and not something I've quite experienced before. But overall, nice little collection, completely free, so can we really complain? But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.